Hi, everyone, and welcome to OneMicNite, the podcast that brings you stories of artists and people on their journey, helping to guide, answer questions, and motivate you in life and the business. You already know who I am. It's Marcos Luis. I'm back. It's season 6, and I'm so happy to have you all here with me on this journey. 18 years of OneMicNite, and we're still here. So, my guest today is multi-talented. We're reaching across the pond. She is an actress, a filmmaker, a singer, a songwriter, an award-winning writer. She's everything, and I'm very happy to
I'm
have her
everything.
here. She's every woman. Her name is Hristina
Yes.
Noland. Welcome to One Mic Night. How are you?
According to you, my name is Whitney Houston now.
That's exactly right. And that's why I'm excited to have you here. How are
Excellent.
you? Thank you for coming to the show. It's been a journey. We've been trying to connect this together for a long time, so I'm happy to finally get you here. I have questions.
I'm happy also.
Who,
Thank you for having me.
you're welcome. Who is Hristina Noland?
Oh no. This is the beginning of the conversation?
That's it.
I don't know, man. Who is Hristina Noland? What is this, Shakespeare? What am I? Who am I? Where am I?
Yeah, who are you?
What is this? Oh, I'm a human being. There you go.
hmm
Uh,
Where did
Passing
you?
by this planet called Earth.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I get it. Get it. Where you from or where'd you grow up?
Uh, I'm Hellenic, also known as Greek, and I was born in Germany, Heidelberg, where my parents were studying at that time. And then I stayed there and it was until I was 4. And then I went to Thessaloniki, which is the second largest city in Greece after Athens.
Mm.
So I guess I'm from Thessaloniki, but it's a difficult question. Yeah, that's it for now. I'm
What
not
did
gonna
you?
go with my biography for
That's
this.
okay. No, you don't have to. We just want to know where you're from, and how did you get into expressing yourself through art, being a storyteller, being a creative. And a lot of times that journey has to do with where we start and how, we envision life as a child and our perspective. So, what was that for
Cool.
you?
Well, it's a good question then, and the clarification was even better. Basically, my dad, he's like a professor at the university, a geologist, but he takes pictures like for a hobby. He has this hobby of like collecting cameras and taking pictures. So growing up, he was taking a lot of pictures of us during our holidays.
Mhm.
So that was one thing, I think, that has led to me doing the artistic stuff. And the other thing is like since I was a kid, because I really, really, really enjoyed all the artistic stuff. So like dancing and singing and well, singing I wasn't that good when I was a kid. And yeah, so whenever like I had time in my spare time, when I was a very good student because my mom was really on me to study for my school obligations. Whenever I had free time, I would close my door and then go like put Michael Jackson on. It was very fashionable then. It's always fashionable. It's Michael Jackson, and I would dance my ass off.
That's interesting.
So yeah,
So,
I
do you feel like you got some of the creative or liberty to be creative from maybe your father? Because if he was doing his photographs as a passion or as a hobby, you think that kind of inspired you a little bit and allowed you
I
some
think so.
freedom, maybe?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Both my parents are very artistic, but they don't
Mhm.
admit it to themselves so much. I think my mother even more, because basically my dad, he had also records and he was kind of a hippie. I think he went to, what's the name for it? What's the
Woodstock?
name? Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, yeah. Well, like a younger father, my young my father in a younger version. He's
Hmm.
like Dustin Hoffman,
Oh,
lookalike.
okay. All
And
right.
my mom, she's like, no arts for you person, because it's like money, 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 or so she says.
Hmm.
Um, she's a kindergarten teacher, so basically she drew a lot for her school activities,
Hmm.
and also she enrolled me to a Montessori school when I was like 4, I don't know what. And the Montessori technique or whatever, they teach you in a more like free artistic way, I think. And I don't remember any of that. But I was thinking about that like this past two
That's
years or
interesting.
whatever.
Thank you for sharing that because I
Yeah,
had no
yeah.
idea that's what it was. I know of the Montessori
Mm.
schools, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it's a different system. It's
Hmm.
like it's not like the usual education system. So there you go.
I like this because I always have, I guess I have sort of American, I don't know if it's envy or I see as an American, we aren't obviously because we're United States and we're not next to other countries as closely as you are in Europe. So I find that a lot of people in Europe seem to travel more and you travel 45 minutes and you're in another culture and you get to experience a whole nother culture, which opens your eyes and allows you, a lot more wisdom, even dealing with people. But, that I think that sparks a lot of creativity in people, which is why
Yeah,
probably I like foreign films even more than I like American made films. There's just a
really.
whole different artistic view for
For
me.
example, for
For
example.
for example, when I was growing up, I never really watched a lot of American films. I always watched French films. And then I
Yeah,
started studying French in grade school and I studied French all the way up through college. So those type of things always appeal to me more than American
but,
films. Hmm.
but French films, you're saying.
Well,
So tell
French,
me, like,
Italian, everything, Spanish, but
what kind of directors do you like? Filmmakers?
well, Depardieu was my big
Oh,
actor back then, and obviously Pedro Almodovar. Those films very quirky but very layered in their meaning and things like that. But those are the kind of things that I used to watch growing up. I would watch American-wise, I would watch classics like The Three Stooges and those type of, classic things. But yeah,
okay.
I just feel like it allows the basis of a lot more creativity for me. Once you got out of the Montessori school, did you go to any kind of
I
art
don't,
school or was it just
no, no, I don't remember much. I
you
was
don't
just like,
remember?
I
Okay.
Googled Montessori school. Like I
Oh,
had to ask my
gotcha.
mom.
Gotcha.
But I Googled it and then I saw like that's what they do. It's not like the basic, the style the other institutions, whatever,
Hmm.
go for. Also, what you said about like, yeah, what you said about Europe,
Hmm.
I have another story. So basically, when I finished law school,
Hmm.
I'll get there and you'll know what I mean. When I finished law school, before I finished law school, I came to New York City and I auditioned for a Stella Adler and I got accepted. And
Hmm.
I wasn't like done with law school. I had like a class or two still to take to finish. So I went back home and told my mom, oh my God, like, I was accepted to this acting school. She has no idea what that is. Uh, Fun fact also, the guy who recommended that, he also studied in New York. He's Greek and he looks exactly like Gerard Depardieu. He's like
Oh,
now the
wow.
president of the film festival in my hometown. Yeah. He
That's
was
funny.
like in a film in Cannes last year. Anyway, so basically, so I told her like, I want to go. And she's like, no, because you have to finish law school first. I'm like, okay, fine. So next year I went to London and I auditioned to some acting schools there and I got accepted there. And I went to Rose Bruford College. But I thought to myself, I'm not going to go to New York because I had the chance if I wanted to defer my, my,
Acceptance.
what is,
Hmm.
yeah,
Acceptance. Yeah.
uh, because I think like it's closer to my parents and my hometown to be in London than in New York because it's going to be like 3 hours flight, which
Hmm.
which later on I realized it had no difference whatsoever. So whatever you're saying, just get your like you, just get you on a plane and go to Europe.
Right. Yes. Oh, you're saying about me
Yeah, that's like I'm saying this story because you said, oh,
because
Europeans, la la la.
yeah,
New York is like a very good place to jump into flights
absolutely.
to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I say that just in terms of growing up. I mean, I'm pretty well traveled, and I
Oh,
just think that a lot of people from the United States, I mean, some do, but we're not as privileged to travel 45 minutes. We can go to Canada, we can go to Mexico, but we're not in the hub where we can go to, all these different countries with a 45-minute radius if you're in one of those countries and see different cultures and different food and different language. And I think that that opens you up to a lot more,
hmm,
once you do that. So that's all I
hmm.
was saying by that. I mean, yeah,
Ah, so you traveled when you became an adult, but you didn't travel as a kid. Like,
right.
what
I did
did your parents?
exactly.
They were.
No, I was in boarding school. And then I
Uh,
went to, once I got out of college, I
where
started
is the
traveling a
boarding
lot.
school you were
The
in?
board, the boarding school was in Pennsylvania.
Okay, I've been there too.
Hmm.
It's nice. Not
So
Philadelphia, somewhere else.
no, it's in the Pittsburgh area.
Okay.
So the other side. But I'm just saying, just exposure and learning about other people and cultures often sparks things in you that, you don't have or you didn't think about. And I think it's a great thing. I noticed that a lot of people in Europe, I have friends that live there now and they just travel all over the place. There's no big deal to hop on a train
Like,
and go somewhere there. And that's a beautiful thing.
I have a very close friend who lives here from New York.
Hmm.
He's lived here for like 5 years now. And another one, oh, I don't know where he lives from, but he lived in New York for many years and then he moved here. Also 7 years, eight. They're here because like what that friend of mine says is like Athens is like New York in the 90s.
Mm,
It's in the
that's
90s.
interesting. Yeah, in the 90s, but that's okay. New York was fun in the 90s.
There
But
you
yeah.
go. And also he lived like in the village and he saw everything and everyone, whatever. So like I guess he likes the experience here because it's like the same kind of
That's
vibe.
interesting.
Yeah. And he also went to boarding school. My aunt also went to boarding school. How do you feel about that? Are you okay?
Yeah, I was great. It was a great experience. They call it's a boarding school. They call it college prep also, so a prep school. So,
Okay.
it prepares you for college. So you go in there as a child and you come out where you're learning how to live by yourself, live with other people, kind of like I'm saying about Europe. You learn how to live, coexist with other people. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's great. You have to be responsible enough to go to class. You have to, figure out a lot of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a great experience for me. Great
I'm just
experience.
like wondering. Yeah, I understand. But I'm wondering, is it only men or everybody?
This was, well, up through eighth grade was boys, and then it was co-ed after that. They joined with the co-ed girls' school.
Okay.
So we're co-ed after that.
But I'm like just wondering if people who grow up without their parents around, even though
Mhm.
like my parents were really on me, if the people who grow up without the parents so close to them
Mhm.
have like some kind of sadness about that.
Could be. Yeah. Not for me though. My mother was pretty hands-on. So,
Ah, okay.
we spoke pretty, yeah, I'm very close to her actually. So no, no, for me it wasn't. For me, it was a great experience. And like I said, it prepared me for college. When I went off to college, I was ready. Everybody else was homesick. They wanted to go home and they couldn't, live. I was fine. I was great. I was ready.
Which
So,
is also like an artist trait, to be by yourself most of the
hmm,
time, a
right.
nomad in some ways, or like adapt to a lot of environments. So probably it helped you with that too.
Absolutely did. Absolutely. Yeah, and you learn, you figure out who your friends are and who, where you want to spend your time, and you have to be disciplined enough to do your work.
Yeah.
Um, I started out pre-med. I had a hard time with pre-med, but I was also an actor all through my life. And so then I went to theater, started doing theater, and I was like, yeah, this is what I need to be doing.
So you didn't do med at all,
No,
medicine.
I started out pre-med. I did a few classes, and then yeah, it wasn't for me. I did an externship. It wasn't for me.
Well, my other Greek American friend, who is not Greek though, and he lives in Ithaca here in Athens, and like, but he's like second generation American from Philadelphia.
Mhm.
His dad was a doctor, and he wanted him to become a doctor. He didn't sponsor any of his activities, so he went to UCLA, and like, I don't know, he found a way in somehow, but like, I don't know, he wasn't in class. Am I supposed to say all that? Ooh. You know,
Too late
like he did
now.
like some weird stuff in order to get like the classes and stuff. So
Right,
anyway, we didn't name any names. He's
right.
from Philadelphia. Nobody knows who he is, right?
That's funny.
So anyway,
You
yes.
have a unique thing going on because you're an actor, but you also work on the casting side too, right?
I worked on the casting side,
Worked.
like it
Hmm.
worked, yes. I did like when I was in London after I graduated acting school, I couldn't get in, I guess, or it's I spent like 2 years doing just short films and like castings for very independent films. So I was like, okay, now what? So then I got a casting for a major film, and I went to the casting director's office, and I'm like, okay, here I am for the acting part of that film, but actually it wasn't even like appropriate for the part. I don't know, maybe they wanted to see me. So
Hmm.
then I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should just like, can I work here? So I got like, he told me, yeah, come on. I did an internship, and it was a very good experience because then like I started understanding how it goes on that side. And then after for a few years, I did some casting director projects project as a casting director, but many people confuse my nonprofit for casting
Hmm.
because it's called International Casting Directors in Athens.
Okay.
But basically, it's International Casting Directors in Athens workshops for actors.
Oh,
You
gotcha.
see?
Yeah.
So basically, what I do is I bring, so far, I brought people from abroad to Greece to teach Greek students how I like to have a casting session, because we don't have access to that here. It's rarer than in the US where you have this kind of workshops all the time. It doesn't happen here.
Right. Tell us
Or
a
if
little bit about that.
when
I'm
I
I'm
start,
curious myself.
yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I do want to know a little bit about what the casting is like there, from both perspective, from a casting director
Oh,
and
it's
an actor,
different.
but how so?
Yeah. First of all, we don't have agents for actors. There is no agents for actors at all.
Hmm.
Lately, there's some kind of management teams that are forming, but actors go by themselves everywhere. So you go to the casting director, which is usually a casting agency. It's not a person. It's more than one people. And you go there and you have like, you do your own video and you go in person and you just go there. Like you can go anytime. Or it used to be like before COVID, this. So you do like a general video and then they call you, they tell you if they want you. So you represent yourself. That's one thing that is different to anywhere else, I think. Greece. I don't think anywhere else there aren't agents for actors.
Really?
Anywhere, like at least the Western countries. Yes.
So if they have a casting call for something, it's you read the casting call wherever it's posted, and then you just say, "Hey, I want to try out for this part. I want to audition for this part," and you just show up, or you send your video in, or
No,
whichever it
no,
may
no, no.
be.
No, these casting agencies, you
Hmm.
go and you do a general video and they put you in their database, and then
Gotcha.
when they have something,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they call you.
Okay.
But you keep in touch or whatever you can do in order for them to remember you, because you understand lots of people go and do that.
Right.
But what did I want to say? Forgot. Basically, there are some castings that are out there on Facebook, la la la. You have to be
Mhm.
like your own detective.
Right.
You do
Gotcha.
your own detective work.
We
So, like other actors tell you about castings, or someone else tells you about casting, and goes like that.
we
And
have
then
that
you
here too.
represent.
Some of the well, they're not
It
really
depends on one.
legit agents, but they have, you'll have a background work, but they have you in a data bank, and then they have your
Yeah.
video or pictures. Yeah, kind of like that.
No, no,
Um,
no. But that is a different thing to the casting agency. We have them too. We have background artists agencies, but we don't have agents, like actors agents, like William Morris, la la la. Okay, this is
Right.
too big. But you have smaller agents as well. We don't have agents.
Agents at all. Right.
Casting agencies we have. And we have, yeah, they're not called agents. They're called like, I don't know what they are really. The background artists. They're not exactly agencies.
Okay.
Are they? Maybe they are for background artists. You're right.
Well, here in New York, they do because there's so many people and you have so many shows being filmed here. So you have a background agency and they have a data bank with all the
Yeah, yeah,
headshots
yeah.
in it. And
This we
then,
have.
but yeah, they don't have a,
Actors.
right. They don't have one for actors, like legit parts for speaking roles and things like that. That you're right, you have to have an agent for that, which is what you
Yeah.
don't have. Yeah. Um,
And I have a manager, but
mhm,
he's a person who's like Anorama, Thanasis. He's like a manager. He's not an agent exactly. He does submit me for things,
mhm.
but he in his head also is more international, and his other clients are international. I think you know him too, right?
Yeah.
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 And that's new for me. Like so far, I used to have an agent in London.
Okay. How's it been for you? I mean, do you find it difficult? Um, I, I mean, it sounds hard because, like you said, you're almost hustling your own game. You're looking for your own jobs. Um, you know, that's hard. That's hard.
Well, this industry is hard,
Yeah, the
and you
industry's
always
hard.
figure out how to do it. Like
I
I spent
think,
so many years trying to figure out how do I do this.
right. I think in New
um,
York, our challenge is to actually find an agent. That's the difficult part. And then we go to submitting for ourselves. Like you said, you look on Facebook, you look on the publication here,
yeah,
and you submit yourself for
you have
roles.
that.
Yeah, which is hard.
Listen, the thing is, like, I'm not the person really, because I started off in London. I didn't
Hmm.
start, I was in London. I started in London, then I got an agent in London. So I worked like in that system. And that's why I brought that back with me to Greece. But I think what is the good thing about this industry here is that it's smaller industry. Maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. So basically, if you are good enough, eventually you'll get there. Like even people who have no training whatsoever, if they hustle their way and they keep going, they can even start as background artists. I have a friend, we were together in a theater group. I was in my hometown, and eventually he became a protagonist in a TV series because he was likable and he was good at it, and he got there. So because it's a smaller industry, in that ways it helps to do things. But then at the same time, the result you're getting is nothing like international projects or American projects.
Right.
But nowadays, you should move to Athens because lots of American projects are happening in Athens.
Oh,
So come
really?
on.
Really? Well, I know you have a couple of projects you're working on too, by the way, right?
And Christopher Nolan is filming as we speak with Matt Damon, like 2 hours away from here.
Really?
Hello.
Why don't
Yep.
you show up?
I don't know. Because, this I did when I was younger. Then I was like, nah, thank you. And I didn't even do it. Like when I was in London, I will
Hmm.
tell you about my project in a second. After I graduated, they were filming around the corner in Eastern Promises with Cronenberg. And you know what I did?
What?
I went and spoke to Viggo Mortensen, not Cronenberg. Hello?
There you go. See? Why
No, no, no,
not?
no, no. No, no, listen. I gave him my resume in
Uh-huh.
his hand. He said "Ευχαριστώ" in Greek, which is thank you in Greek. But of course, Cronenberg was there. So why did I speak to Viggo Mortensen? Nobody knows.
Oh, I get it. Right. Right.
Yeah, I have other stories like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, my projects. So basically, yes, this is me. What you're saying, what you said in the beginning, everything. I do everything. You know why I do everything? Because I got tired. and I'm very like energetic as a person.
Mhm.
So I can't wait around and just wait for other people to give me stuff to do. So that's why I'm doing my own projects. There we
As
are.
you should, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
We are
Also, it's been a
creatives.
long time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You have
It's
stories
been
to
a long
tell. Why?
time.
Yeah, why wait? The hard
Yeah,
part we
yeah.
have is financing these projects. And,
Very tough.
um, the good
That's
thing
where we
though,
are now.
right? The good
Yeah.
thing though is, if we have shows like this, it doesn't cost much to do. But when we have stories to tell, like films, and we become the filmmakers and we're at the helm of everything, then we have to find people to help finance us. Um, yeah, so
Ah,
mhm.
another thing that is different in Europe and the US, and that's what I'm gonna try and do with my projects, is get both like industries involved if possible. In the US, I think you get private funding, and I don't really know exactly how you go around it. I'm assuming you get, from what I've seen, you get the producer to do that for you.
Right,
But you get private funding, right?
right.
You don't have public funding. Yeah, in Europe, you have lots of public funding, but that is such a long way to go
Right.
because basically you have to apply for the fund and this fund and that fund. And then a year, 2 years later, and maybe like go on a workshop, like a screenwriting workshop in a film festival somewhere. Um, and then you get some funding.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. We call those
mm,
grants. So there's certain organizations,
yeah, grant.
they're not they're some public, some private, institutions do it too. They give you a grant. But yeah, you're right. It takes a year or it takes 2 years sometimes. You apply for it, you submit all this information, they review it, they review everybody else's, and then if you're lucky, then they'll give you the money. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then we also
Um,
Mhm.
because I knew this when I was younger, like all through my 20s, basically, I was like, I don't think I'm interested in this, so I'm going to try and do my own projects without all that. So I did try to do my own projects without all that. So,
Mhm.
like, basically, I filmed a lot on my iPhone. I have movies that are complete on my iPhone. One of them is my latest, is Ithaca, which is actually a feature film in Ithaca. Uh, and this was with no budget or like 10
Beautiful.
grand. Which
Beautiful.
is two people, 10 grand.
Right.
Beautiful, but then you still have problems because, or issues. You have like to make sure the sound is good. You have to make sure the image is good enough for a theater release and all of that stuff. So
Right.
again, you need
You'd need
after all.
money. Yeah. It's hard because the thing is, yeah, you have to invest a little bit into it in order to get those things. So you have to invest a little bit into sound equipment. But then the investment, you have it for the next time. But you do cut out some of the costs, like you said, if you use your iPhone, if you have an iPhone, because the image quality is, cinematic. That's the word I'm looking for. Cinematic quality.
Cinematographic. This is a
Yeah,
Greek word for you.
right.
It's called, no, it's not. No, it's not. Cinema is not a Greek word. Kinematographos is in Greek.
Agree. Yeah.
Well, it is because cinematic, I guess this is how it
Cinematic is a word
came.
for us. But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
close.
yeah, if you can do it, and yeah, like you said, you have to worry about the sound quality, maybe get a little investment. We also here have things called GoFundMe. We have
Yeah,
Indiegogo. I don't know if they have
this is
that there,
everywhere.
but these are great
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
People fund your projects. Um, Tell us a little bit
Um,
about what's the story. You don't have to give us the whole premise, but give us a little preview of what it's about.
which one?
Both of them.
I
You
have
have a
like
couple, right?
four.
You have four, and all of
No,
them.
four.
Whichever one you want to plug. I mean,
All
whichever one
right,
we
all of
need
them.
funding. We're trying to get people. Come on, let's get some funding here.
Three, two, one,
That's why I'm
go.
here. I'm here to
Pitch
help.
everything now.
Just give us like a one sentence about each one, if you want.
Oh no, hold on. I have to find my log lines. Really, I do. I'm not like,
Um,
I'm not exactly my producer. I'm
okay, it's all
trying to
right.
be, but partially. Okay, so listen. in Ithaca, and Where Art Thou the Years are two of my films that are already made. So in Ithaca, as I said, is filmed in iPhone. Actually, it's funny because in Ithaca it is like inspired and based in the Ulysses myth. And now Christopher Noland is doing this film called The Odyssey in Peloponnese, where I
Oh,
filmed my thing too. But whatever, because it's gonna be a completely different film, obviously, you understand.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Matt Damon is in it. So me and Odysseus, who is also a Greek American filmmaker I told you about, we filmed in Ithaca on a road trip across Peloponnese in Ithaca. Ithaca is the place where Ulysses went to find Penelope, you know, this Greek myth, la la la. And the plot is a yappy filmmaker and a quirky actress, talk like, go on a trip, and the yappy filmmaker goes missing. This is the plot.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So that's in Ithaca. It's a feature film filmed on iPhone. 1. 2, Where Art Thou the Years is a short film, and it's filmed in Greek because only one of the people speaks because the other person doesn't speak Greek. Anyway, this is the backstory. And that is about a couple, a woman and a man, and they're handicapped, and their trials and issues in the Greek reality, because here also we have no benefits for those people. Like, this is forming to happen right now, but all the people who are homeless or the people who have any
Oh,
disabilities,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like now something is happening, but all these years there was nothing with the government doing about that.
So this is a
So
social issue problem too. You know,
yeah,
it sounds like many layers to this one. This sounds
yeah,
good.
yeah. This is yes, and this is filmed on camera. It's
Hmm.
black and white, and it has good sound.
I love
So
black
this
and
is,
white. I love black and white.
well,
Good. That
it's up
sounds
to
good.
you.
I like this.
Yeah. So yeah, where are the years? For me, like inspiration, if you know Mike Lee, he's done like a similar film. So that, and maybe in my head there was Bergman.
Mm.
Bergman style somehow.
Hmm.
I don't know. You watch it and you tell me what you think.
Okay.
These are two. So these films are already made, and I wanna like get distribution going for them, and maybe film festival submission. I'm not sure yet. So I have two more. One is a TV series. It's a mini TV series, and this is my favorite project. And now I'm gonna talk like the lead character in this TV series and pitch this for you. This is
Let's
Nadia.
go. Let's go.
I have a multiple personality now. So Nadia is the Romanian vampire. Yes, she is. And she really wants to be famous. When is my fame happening? Is it now? Is it? Is this happening as we speak?
Wait, let's see. I want to know. Vampires I love. Romanian vampires. Let's
There you
go.
go. So anyway, yes, Nadia and the Romanian vampire's queen and her peculiar friends in Athens is happening soon in the
Okay.
cinemas near you. Oh, okay. So
This is good.
yeah. So basically, this is like in my head improvised. I have a frame
Hmm.
of how I want to film this, but basically I'm basing this on actors that I'm gonna cast in this or I have casted in this. And I want to do this a TV miniseries. I have some funding for this already. I think I do. So, and I have like some famous actors involved, attached. But now I want to do this properly. So I really want to like find a big platform, online platform, to get this project off me.
That sounds good.
So I
Yeah.
can direct this,
Hmm.
hopefully direct this. I'm like the creator of the project, basically, and be the Nadia. This is it. And then Promethea. Do I have time for this?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. No,
are you playing me off?
no. I was going to ask you a question. Is it possible for you? I mean, because I know you're based in Athens, right? Is it possible for you
Yeah.
to do one of those platforms, like the Indiegogo platform, um, and raise some money that
We,
way? I think that may
It
be a good
is.
route.
What I was thinking is
A
like,
little work.
I'm gonna approach like all the Netflix this kind of people to see what happens with her.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're right about that.
That's an idea
Good.
too. Just go directly to the network, like pitch it to them.
Yeah.
And like you
I don't
said, I
know
mean,
exactly how though,
you
to
don't
be
know
honest.
how?
Do you
Well, I
know?
mean, you could actually Google that. They have videos on YouTube on how to pitch your projects. I mean, it's not
Is
that
this a
easy,
smoking
but
interview or not?
hmm? Yeah, go
Is
for it if you
this
want. Yeah, if you want to, go for it.
just,
Yeah, I'll just put a
I'm trying to
disclaimer.
quit. No, I'm trying to quit.
Trying to quit.
Yeah. After my bronchitis. No, thank you.
Yeah, it's not good for you. Definitely don't need it.
Yeah.
Well, these all sound good. I'm really happy.
I have one
Think
more.
about it. Think about it. The film festival, like you said, is always a good way to go. But you got to have a little money for that. So,
Film festival, yeah. Well, some film festivals don't have so much, like, you don't have to pay so much money to apply.
right.
I did apply, yeah, I did try Ithaca with Sundance, but then I was like, maybe that wasn't the right choice. So I spent some money there.
Mhm.
And also, again, being me, I had an editor, a professional editor. This is a very independent, like, iPhone project, right? So I had an editor, she did the editing, and then I went in because I had so much material. I was like, oh, and I need this and that in there. So I did it myself, and then I submitted that one. But that was stupid because basically her edit makes more sense.
Right.
So now I'm gonna start over because, of course, I didn't get accepted. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Yes.
I want to do something. I want to have you come back because we're running out of time on this one. But I want to have you come back,
Okay.
and there's so much more to talk to you about. And I want to, if we can, maybe put a
Yeah,
clip
we
or
should talk
so.
about you.
Yeah, we can talk about me. We can,
Yeah, please.
yeah, we can. We can
Why?
do it. We'll have an actor, actor talk.
Yes, let's do
We'll do
that.
that. I would love that.
Yeah.
How can people get in touch with you? I want people to know more about your film and about what you're doing.
Okay. I guess I'm on IMDb Pro and as Hristina Noland. So,
And I'll put that in the notes of
and
the
then,
episode.
yeah, associates on that one and Noland. And then I am on Instagram as myself still. So that is Hristina Hrisohou. Hrisohou in Greek means goldsmith. I don't know if that helps with anything. But, so you spell that Hristina, so Hristina without the K, without the C in the beginning, sorry, or the K actually. So with an H, because that's how it sounds in Greek, Hristina.
Hristina.
And then there is Hrisohou, which is with an H again, without the C, like Hrisohoou. Dial again, HRI. You got it now. HRISOHOOU. Hristina Hrisohou.
Make sure you look her up, IMDb, Hristina Noland, and the other spelling, we'll put it down in the notes so you have that. Follow her on Instagram. We're running out of time, but we're definitely going to have you back. We're going to do an actor talk. This, everyone, is OneMicNite, OneMicNite. My name is Marcos Luis, Marcosluis. Thank you for joining us for OneMicNite. This incredible actor, singer, songwriter, award-winning writer will be back. Make sure you check out all her projects. We'll see you next time on OneMicNite. Bye-bye.
Oh, thank you, Marcos Luis.